What I'm going to speak about is on how the Briseide and geographic information management can, how much relevant is it for promoting the European Union cohesion. I will doing it mainly by showing the monitoring environmental quality in urban areas example, which in abbreviation is called IQ2U, that has been developed by within Briseide by the Portuguese Geographical Institute, which is in the Portuguese Mapping Agency. My presentation is organized in this way. First, a little synthesis of ideas about how geographic information, how important it is to promote the European cohesion, mainly within the subject of Briseide, which is making web services, and the constraints that they pose when dealing with geographic information. Then showing you, describing you the Briseide main goal that perhaps I will skip because Giuseppe already talked about it, and skip directly into the IQ2U example to finally make some conclusions and give some possible ideas for future development. Well, the main concern now from the European Union and the Commission in these areas is how important is geographical information for promoting European Union cohesion. And from my point of view, it's really relevant in order to support good governance. It is crucial to define good strategies, implementing them and reviewing them, and obviously using available technology, and that means dealing with web-based geographical information infrastructures, which is all about what Briseide is all about. And it also, by doing so, information can be a very good support for management into many private business. The role of the European Union in doing this is obviously related with the Inspire directive approach. And we can look at this into two perspectives. The perspective of the producer of the information, mainly I'm thinking as working in the house that produces official geographical data. The main concerns of the producer, and in Portugal by now, obviously that's a concern, providing geographical information that is useful for government purposes, but assuring that that information fits for the purposes that it should fit. We had to deal with some problems when putting it into web services. That is property and licensing. That is maintenance, how not only data, but also the human resources that has always to be learning new things, a new way of doing things. To do data management within web service, namely, that means dealing with increasing technology improvements, dealing with the correct and choosing the correct metadata profile, namely making it compatible with the Inspire approach, but always being in mind that the metadata must serve the user's community. And so our main concerns are to meet the legal purpose that the data must serve, also obviously meeting data specifications, but always being aware if the data are useful, if they could be more useful for good governance, for private business as well, because they are also our clients. And we have to obviously assure that not only taxes pay the information that we make available, but part of it would be because we are promoting the use within the enterprises that also pays for the data. From the user perspective, it's useful that we make them understand the relevance of data quality in order to make them choose our data instead of others. Okay, namely those that are making available by Google, for instance, so they can find within the internet in other ways. They have the time that the user has to understand data fitness. They have to obviously do it in a short period of time. They have to be able to deal with the technology, so the web services must be very easy to use and very up to the point. And obviously, they should give them different perspectives in order to help them solve the problems. Because now the problem, much more than having data, is having the correct data and be sure that if the data is available, we get the data and that different data sets give us different perspectives about the same problem, even official data, as I show you within the EQ2U project. Well, to assure European Union cohesion when using geographic information, Inspire really has a very important role to play. But as I only have 10 minutes, and Giuseppe already told about Inspire, I'll probably just go around a few of the constraints. We have to be aware that different member states have different ways to organize data and to collect data. The main concern of Inspire within the European Union and within the Commission is the cost benefit. And Inspire, within this context, has to show it's useful. Also, knowing that data have different structures, we have to be able to guarantee that data integration is done and that we deal with updated data, but also, as we do in Briseide, we have to be able to work with time and with evolution, okay? And to be obviously sure that the users understand the need of Inspire and how to make the approach sustainable within each member state, the Inspire approach sustainable. Briseide main goal, you already have heard about it. I will speak now about the prototype IQ2U. IQ2U is an environmental prototype developed just to show how important it is to deal with different data sets from different time periods to understand the evolution of urban growing and its impact in environmental sustainability, environmental quality, and economic and promoting economic growth. As I have only 3 or 4 minutes, I think it's better and much more fun for you to see the application going. This application was developed for 2 areas. One central area of Portugal, which is mainly rural, that is the upper one, that is near one of the most relevant watersheds that supplies water for about 1/4 of the Portuguese population. And urban growth there has obviously a very big impact in water quality. And the second one is near Lisbon. It's the green arrow. It's within Lourdes municipality that is a municipality next to Lisbon city. So the urban pressure is much higher there. Here is the Briseide web service working with the data that so far we collected and found it relevant in order to evaluate urban growth. What we can do is, there you see in red, the red line means what was planned as urban growth area. And what we have to approach the urban evolution is different. What we have behind is a raster map, orthophoto map, that is dated of 1999. And when you look at the different maps, you can look at urban evolution, which almost appears to be almost nothing, then something happened afterwards, and look at to other issues that you can be aware of. That is, was a picture of the orthophoto maps that IGP did. The flight was during a forest fire, okay? And that's why the picture looks like this. And you can see the evolution of the urban occupation. And after the forest fire, you can see, well, I'm sorry that this doesn't point, I think I don't know how to point it there, but over there, you can see that there's an impact in the water, because as much houses you have, the much the people want to have their own boats, and the much sewage can go into the water. There you can only see the boats part. This is only a visual approach of the problem. You have other vector inputs that you can use to study the problem, mainly the thematic map of land use that give you from 99 decade to the 2000 decade, the evolution. Unfortunately, the technology isn't yet available to deal with the colors in here, but it will do it in the next month, I hope. You can also evaluate urban growth not only by using the houses, but by using the thematic vector maps and having the evolution of how much of the soil has been converted into urban and how much is still rural. And also have you have the possibility of simply count the licenses and the houses in order to be aware of urban growth. And this is the Lourdes municipality, obviously, which much more higher density. And you also can compare this with statistic information in order to see if it's consistent with the population growth, and to see if the houses that you are building will have someone to buy them. So that we always have to divide the price of the utilities into the people that inhabit in certain areas, and to be sure that the urban growth is sustainable, you have to match both. Okay, so I just brought you 3 different data sets: alphanumeric data sets, thematic vectorial data sets, and the raster data sets, in order to following the idea that my colleague just told you about, dealing with different data sets within the infrastructure and dealing obviously with the time. And so the main conclusions of this project and within Briseide approach is that obviously the geographic information web-based infrastructures are quite relevant in order to integrate a large approach into a holistic approach to understand some problems that are posed when we are looking at urban sustainable growth in a social, economic, and environmental perspective. Some of the inputs related to are obviously related to the accomplishment of the legal framework. I could give you some ideas of how, for instance, the environmental impact assessment or environmental strategic planning that are directives strictly related to urban planning are evolving in the impact they have within the urban planning, or the Water Framework Directive, also very relevant in using this kind of approaches. And obviously they are related, strictly related to the to improving Inspire understanding and to be aware of the Inspire constraints and Inspire contribution to make European cohesion not only in economic terms within the private sector, but when the European Communion approves different directives that has to be implemented in different states with different legal particular frameworks that have to be adapted and obviously have different costs. And this kind of approach within different member states can be quite transparent and easy for the Commission to understand. So the future developments would be some of them explored within the Briseide project, like those related with data management problems within web services, but obviously some others, like developing tools that will easily understand users, help users to understand the fitness for purpose of the available data. Because many times you see that reports don't have nothing or say nothing about data quality and if data quality fits to the conclusions that are being taken with those data. And obviously, to create new users and expand the geographical information market, not only in the public sector, but obviously also in the private area. I'm thinking, for instance, in the banking sector, in evaluating housing and housing values by using this kind of tools, urban growth, and relating it with population growth, and with a specific area and distance to the main urban centers and so on, in order to make a much better evaluation and to reduce the risk. And reducing the risk, obviously reducing for us all the risk of having a banking system that creates sometimes so large economical problems. Well, this presentation is at the end. Thank you very much for your attention. And I give the floor to my colleague.